Hey, what's going on, guys? Today's gear rundown is going to be a slash of a rundown slash how I record drums using my Behringer XR18 with Reaper. So I'm just kind of going to go through the process of how I go about getting my sounds up and everything. And I'm going to take it step by step. This will all apply to you know, anybody who's using an XR18 and Reaper. So let's get going. Okay, so first thing you want to do is you want to get all your lines run. So what I did here is, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory if you've ever set up a PA system or seen it done in any kind of situation. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but just in case you've never ever actually done it. So how I run my lines is this. I go one's kick, and this is pretty, you know, this is pretty much industry standard. So 1 is kick, 2 is snare, 3 is tom 1, tom 2, tom 3. So this is my rack and my 2 floor toms. And then these 2 are my overheads, left and right. And this right here is actually a room mic. And then over here, I ran out of XLR cables, so all I had was one of these cheap pile cables. So, I'm using the 1/4 inch input, the XLR to 1/4 inch. That's all I got. So it's kind of what I'm using right now. It works. It does the trick. And then, over here, I have in 17 and 18, I have my, I guess you call it an auxiliary line. So in case I want to run backing tracks or I want to play along with the recording, I run it into 17 and 18 here. It's just a tip ring, or tip ring sleeve left right to where's the other end? Where is the other end? It's got to be around here somewhere. Follow it up. Follow. It's right here where I draped it over the music stand like a good organized person would. Sorry about the mess. I know it's a disaster. I actually cleaned this up. But, so I just run it to a standard mini, so I can just run out a headphone jack of my phone or my iPad or whatever and play along with something, and then record it. And then here I've got my headphone extension. So there is a headphone amp built into this thing, and it's actually not bad at all. It works fairly good. So I just run a headphone extension to my in-ears. So, all right, so once you get all that set, once you get all your lines run, you're going to want to bring up the XR or the XR software. I always run everything hardwired. I don't use the wireless. It's not reliable. I do have a cheaper router, but you know, I'm not out at a club or anything. Everything's right here. So I just run out of the Ethernet port there and into I got a converter here because that MacBook Air doesn't have Ethernet on it. So, and then I just run it hardwired. So the first thing you want to make sure is you want to make sure your wireless is off, because if your wireless isn't off, it's not gonna default to that landline. So make sure that's off. So click that. Make sure turn Wi-Fi off, and then you also want to make sure. Sorry, I forgot this. I keep hitting my hi-hat, but you also want to make sure that you are on Ethernet on this selector switch. So there's three selector switches here as far as the connection goes. You can use the client Wi-Fi, which is the built-in Wi-Fi on the XR, which is complete and total garbage. It's fine if you're just using it at home, but if you're ever using this out in a club, any kind of situation where there's people trying to connect to Wi-Fi, you don't want to use it. And then you can also use an access point with your own provided router, or how I suggest, if it's feasible, is to run a hardline Ethernet cable. It's just going to be a much more reliable connection. So make sure your Wi-Fi's off, and then ideally it doesn't always, but 99% of the time, it does find it, okay? So you see right here, it says XR18 with the IP address. So you click on that, select that, and then hit connect. Let's try that again. Okay, yeah, here we go. Synchronize recommended. So I always go PC to mixer because sometimes I'm playing with settings in the mixer, and if for whatever reason I forgot to save them or forgot to properly, shut down the program or something. So I always just do PC to mixer because sometimes I actually will play with settings before I even start and connect it. So we do the sync, transferring perimeters, I mean, all this is actually explained on Behringer's YouTube channel. But okay, so we're all set there. So the next thing I want to do is I already have a everything kind of preset. I spent a lot of time playing with this, I actually downloaded some scenes. You can actually download scenes from the internet. I can't remember the website, but they'll have like preset scenes for you. It actually just kind of goes through and kind of defaults everything. And then I kind of just went from there and played with EQs and just to get it to, oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. To get it to my liking. And oopsie. All right, connect. See how easy that went? So let's go PC to mixer. So I accidentally closed that out. But so the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to try and get sounds up. I use in-ears to kind of get my sounds up, to kind of play with it. And then the next thing you want to do is after you get everything set here, I mean, this is a lot of messing around. I mean, I could spend hours. God, I keep doing that. I could spend hours talking about how I went about getting my drum sounds up, but I'm not going to do that because it's really boring. But if you see here, if you click channel, it has everything that's enabled. So on the kick here, I do have a little bit of compression. I've pretty much turned all my compression to tape off on everything. It was not agreeing with my overheads and my toms, even my snare. So I don't know if I had too much going to tape or whatever, but my kick drum still seems to be okay. So I left that and some equalizer. I got a little EQ on the kick. So if we go over here to my snare, you can see all my settings. So no gate, no compression, a little EQ. We go to my rack tom. I do run a tiny bit of gate. I mean, it's just the tiniest bit of gate to get rid of some rumble afterwards. My EQ settings, which are a little ate up, but if you look, I mean, all the highs rolled off, but it seems to work. I don't like my toms too attacky. And so far, this is work. So you see tom 1, floor tom, a little bit of gate. Tom 2, a little bit of gate EQ, and then my overheads, I just got EQ. These overheads, you can see there's already signal going to them, but these overheads have a ton of high end. They're MXL 603s. They're really, really harsh on the high end. So I rolled off tons of high end going to tape on these. No compression, because compression does not agree at all with these microphones. The snare gets so cracky, and you see right here, I got my phantom power activated, my polarity. So, this is my room mic. So I do have a room mic. It's an MXL 2006. So I just boosted a little low end on the mic, but I have no compression or anything. I do all that in post. Then I have a hi-hat mic where I'm literally just using a cheap pile microphone. So I just boosted a little bit of the high end to get some of that nice stick clicky stuff, and that's all I send to tape. So the next thing you're gonna wanna do is you wanna get all your gain structures set up. So if we go over here and we open up Reaper here, okay? Like I said, I already did this all ahead of time. So I already got a project open. So we go here, we go to new project, okay? And then I just kind of, I have a template set up, so all I have to do is click on the template and everything comes up with settings the way I want it. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to individually get all your gain structures set up. So what I do is I come over here. You have to select the audio device right here in blah, 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 in Reaper. So you go to, let's cancel this out here. You go to Reaper, click on that. This is all for the Mac version, by the way. Click Preferences. All right, and then up here it says not found USB device, and then if you click audio device, it says X18, XR18. Click that, hit apply. All right, and you are connected. So the first thing we want to do is I'm just going to kind of, this is going to apply for every microphone, every setting. So I'm just going to do the kick drum. So actually I do kick drum and snare. So the first thing you do is click track, insert new track, okay? And then you're going to want to select the input. Now, this is very, very important. You're going to want to arm it, okay? So you arm it. Then you select input, okay? Input mono and 1 because it's channel 1 on the XR. So we'll just leave that the way it is, okay? Now, keep in mind, I already got my gain structure set up. All right, so I'm watching where my meter's reading. I make sure it's, it's around that minus, 20 or so. How hard I hit it. And so that's how I got my first channel set up. Now, you want to add a second channel. This is the procedure on down the line, okay? So you hit track, come here, hit new track at end of list. This is very important, okay? Because if you don't hit new track at end of list, it kind of just goes willy-nilly. I think at the beginning. Or the first open slot or something. I don't know exactly. So insert new track at end of list, okay? So this is going to be the snare drum, which is going to be, if you look down here, input 2, okay? So we go here, we select our input. You have to arm the track too. So you arm the track, select your input mono 2, okay? Now, I'm just going to tap on the snare mic. So you see I'm tapping right there. I'm tapping on the snare mic. We're getting signal. Now, if I'm not on the correct input, okay, let's go back to 1. So I'm on input 1 on both of these channels. You notice it's coming through. The kick drum is coming through both channels. Now, you can actually route, you can route whatever channel on the board to whatever track number you want on Reaper. So let's say for whatever reason I wanted to send my let's do my low floor tom to this channel. All right, so my low floor tom, my 18-inch floor tom is on yeah, it's on 5. So I go to input 5 and I'm just tapping it over here. And there you go. You see, it's coming through on channel 2. So what I do is I keep everything in line with the channel on the mixer. Okay, so we do that on down the line. And actually, the next thing I'm going to go to is if we go back. Let's go back to the XR software. You notice here my aux send, okay? So my aux send is, if we go to the in and outs, where is it? Where is it? Aux input, yeah. Okay, so yeah, my line inputs 17 and 18 right here are on 17 and 18, okay? So that's my line input. So if I want to get that, if I want to get this to Reaper, if I want to send that to Reaper, what I'll do is I'm just going to skip past everything. All right, we're going to set new track end of list, okay? We go here, input, stereo, 17 and 18. So that's coming through. Or what I'll do is I'll actually run 2 tracks. Let's say I'm running a click and left, okay? And then music on the right-hand side, I'll go to mono. This is actually how I usually run everything. Actually, this is always how I run everything. I'll go to mono, all right? Track 17. Now, this is at the end of the list. This is just my auxiliary send, okay? Insert new track at end of list. Okay, and then mono 18. So I'm running out of that one mini, okay, out of the one, where is it? Out of this guy right here, that one mini plug. Let's say I got it, like I said before, if I have a click track going on my left side and music on my right side, okay, and then I just mix the two how I feel like. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, and I actually have a template set up for how everything, I have a template with preset with recording monitor and everything already set up. So I'm just going to go to that. So let's go to new project. Nope. All right. And let's go to, if you go here to file, project templates. All right. We'll just call this new drum cover. Okay. So what this is everything already preset. Everything is already preset on how I like it. You notice on channel 8, you can hear, that's the room mic right there, okay? So these little green, I actually don't know, somehow that got clicked and it's saved. But if you notice these little guys right here, this is your record monitoring, okay? I am monitoring, when I record, what I'm monitoring is my kick, okay? And this is all, now none of this is going to, your fader, I should add, is your fader. Now this doesn't do anything to change the signal to tape. Your signal to tape is all set over here on your gain structure. So I didn't really go through this, so I probably should do that, is when I'm going through and I'm setting my, my gain structures, is I'm coming in here, I'm hitting my, let's say here, I'm hitting my snare drum, right? Hitting my snare drum, and then I come over here, and I see how it's registering on channel 2. I just kind of want to see how much signal is going to that tape, and I try to keep it, you know, into that minus 20 or so range. So I got plenty of headroom, okay? So if it's too hot, I'll come back over here, and I'll just adjust the mic gain. And I'll keep doing that back and forth until I'm happy with where my gain structure is set. All right, so once all that is set, what I'll do is I will monitor in my headphones what I want to hear in my headphones while I'm recording. So you notice all these right here are armed, okay? So you have to arm a track or it's not going to record. So if I leave this unclicked so it's not highlighted red, I go and I play something, my kick isn't going to go to tape, all right? So you want to make sure all these are armed. And then the next thing is, this is record monitoring, okay? So we click this guy right here, record monitoring off. So none of this is going to my headphones. But I click it so it's green, it's coming to my headphones, and then I can adjust here on the fader how much of that I want coming to my monitor. I usually keep my kick fairly low and my snare up high, and then you notice here I've got my overheads up kind of high. That way, I'm not overplaying my cymbals. I'm not crashing too hard. And then if we go to, what is this here? See, I never marked any of this. So this is overheads, this is hat. Right here, 9 and 10 would be, if we go here, if we notice before, 17, 18. Check that out. 17 and 18 are actually on 9 and 10. So that's this guy right here, 17 and 18, coming to 9 and 10 on my DAW. And then last, what's 11? What is, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's 10 and 11. Okay, yeah. So 10 and 11, that's 17 and 18 right there. So this is my music. This is my room mic. This is my hi-hat. I got that off. Room mic I've got up a little, or I'm sorry, that's the other way around. I have my room mic up a little bit, my hi-hat up a little more, and then I'm monitoring my overheads, monitoring my kick and snare. I'm not monitoring my toms. So let's say you want to record everything. The next thing you're going to want to do is you want to make sure all this is armed, okay? I do these one of two ways. I'll either drop a file in. So I'll go, if let's say I just want to pull something right off iTunes to play along with, I'll go to insert media file, right? And then I'll just go to iTunes, drop a file right in, okay? add a track at the end, drop a file in on that track, and then what I'll go through is, let's say I have a song that drums come in right away. There's no count or anything, no guitar intro, drums come in right away. What I'll do is I'll find the tempo of that song. So let's say the song is at, no, let's just say it's at 120, okay? So, because it defaults to 120, I'll drop it in, and then I'll see if I can remember how to do this. Sometimes I got it. You can set a click. You can set a click intro. I can't remember exactly how to do that off the top of my head. But I'll insert a click at the beginning, so it'll just be a count off. 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, and we're in. Trust me, it can be done. I've done it before. I just can't exactly remember how to do it. Oh, is it metronome pre-roll? Maybe that's it. Yeah, metronome pre-roll. No, that's not it. Whatever. It's there. I mean, it can be done. I don't do it a lot, but I have done it in the past. It can be done. So there is a lot. I mean, there is so much I don't know about Reaper. I'm just scratching the surface, like learning how to use it. So it's a constant learning process. I'm always learning more about it. Every time I use it, every time I dive into it, I'm learning a little more about it. And it is really, really, I mean, we're so lucky in this day and age to have this kind of power at our fingertips. This is I think it's a $60 program if you buy it. And you can actually use it for free, which I think is kind of crappy forever. I think if you really want to use it, you should buy it because it's a fantastic program. You know, what 20 years ago, this would have cost, you know, everything in here, all the compression, all the effects, all the EQs. I mean, it would have been thousands and thousands of dollars. And right here, it's $60. You know, so with a relatively small investment, you have a very, very powerful recording studio at your fingertips. You know, so this is a really cool program. I really think, if you use it, you should spend the money to buy it because it's, I mean, you got to support these guys. I mean, they're not doing this for their health. I mean, and you know, this is a great. They're constantly updating it, so I can't say enough good things about Reaper. You know, for the money, man, the quality you can get out of it's really, really cool. So that's about it. I've rambled on long enough. If you got any questions, leave them in the comment section below. If I forgot anything, because I'm sure I did, I'll do my best to answer them. And I will see you guys next time.